Hey everybody, welcome to episode 4 of my live stream videos. And today my bestie is back. Mia Nenonen is here. You've seen her interviewed on my other show, the Devotional Hearts Show, about 4 times. I think Mia, right? Isn't there? I think we've done 4 videos, but it's been a while. So we're going to be catching up with Mia, and I want to invite everybody who's watching to use the chat, ask us questions, and I'll try to keep on top of checking for questions, and maybe my mods can remind me if I miss somebody's question. That would be really great. So welcome everybody, and welcome Mia.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be back.
So a lot has happened since we've had you back. So why don't you just share a little bit first for people who don't know you, because I have a lot of new subscribers and maybe there's some people who haven't watched our videos, but why don't you briefly introduce yourself and then we'll talk about some recent fun things that are happening on your Instagram and a new project you're working on.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Mia. I'm from Finland, and I was just telling Alison that soon we can do these streams like even later because it's now 9 p.m. But then because in the summertime the sun is always up in Finland, so then we don't have to worry about the time difference anymore. I was deep in the New Age for 10 years, and now it's been almost a year and a half that glory to God, I've been out of it. And about a year ago, I started discovering Orthodoxy through Alison because you sent me some links to some YouTube channels. And now I'm a catechumen, and I'll be baptized, hopefully, if that's God's will, this summer, and joining the church. So I'm so grateful for everything that's happened. This year has been crazy. So much has happened, and yeah.
And I also want to spend a little bit of time today talking about some of the conscious parenting information, or I don't know, teaching. Do you feel like you're a teacher of conscious parenting?
Definitely not.
No. Okay. Well, your Instagram stories are really amazing. So that my viewers know, I'm not personally a parent, but if I was, I would be constantly looking to you for guidance. And so I do want to talk a little bit about that at the end. But first, let's talk about some of the New Age to Jesus content and how it's attracted new people to your Instagram lately.
Yeah, it's been a wild week actually, because the conversation about Christianity hasn't been huge in Finland yet. I started talking about these things on Instagram last summer, so almost 10 months. Now it's been like slowly picking up the conversation, and of course a lot of people have, understandably, New Age people, they have unfollowed me long ago, but now it's been so joyful for me to see the return, because I've tried to make the conversation about objective truth and emotional intelligence, and how everything comes back to truth, and how there has to be a truth if you want to be conscious with your life and with your morals and everything. So I think that there has been some things going on, and of course we can't dismiss the power of prayer, because a lot of people have been praying, and slowly every week new people have begun talking about these things. And now, just a week ago, a bigger account shared some of my posts, and it just attracted like 200 new women to my account, and most of them were like, what are you talking about? You mean that angels aren't what we think they are? And just like back to basics. And we've been having so amazing conversation about energy and what actually it means to be in your energy, and what it means then to be in with God's energies. And just it's been so amazing to see how open-minded women in the end have been, because my account is mostly it's women who follow me. So because I also talk a lot about motherhood and stuff like that. But it's been so amazing to see how truth is now something that people want to talk about, and they want to hear someone talking about, because it's not trendy to tell someone that actually the fact that you identify as a goddess doesn't mean that you are a goddess.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a difference between reality and then our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been great to see so many new people now, maybe slowly changing their minds about their beliefs and starting to undo a lot of learning. Because what I didn't realize in the New Age, that it was only things that I had learned from books mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then with YouTube, like all these spiritual channels, it was just other people's words that I took as truth and then
Right. Mm-hmm.
promoted them, which was the saddest part. That and I did like continue the disaster, because I had a podcast also about this new agey stuff. So it's been so great to see that the other side of the conversation has now started to open up.
And has anyone tried to convince you that you need to go back to your new agey ways?
No. One someone asked me that if I was there when God created the world. So that was like the argument against Christianity. That like, were you there? Did you see
Oh,
him do it?
interesting.
And I was and like those are because that's like kind of low level argumenting. It's like it's pretty then if the person is really open-minded, then you have to get the conversation going, and really you have to be objective and not to like the triangle of arguments, or what is it like in what is it? I don't know the name in English, but anyways, they're like a triangle of intelligent like arguing and debating, and those are like the low level arguments, like you're stupid that you think like that.
Yeah,
Like
the best thing to do is just ask them a question back. Well, why do you believe this? And like you said, so much of what we used to believe was just because we read it in a book or saw it on YouTube, and it sounded good, it felt good because we were going with our feelings. And so explain a little bit why our feelings can't be our compass for truth.
Well, if we want to have emotional intelligence, if we want to really be in touch with our feelings, we don't. The thing is that we don't need our feelings to be in touch with reality. We need truth to be in touch with reality. So every time we have a feeling, we need intelligently to then align it with truth. And if there is no truth, like in the world of New Age, it's only relativity. So there's no moral in that kind of worldview, because you can feel something and think like, oh, this feels good now in the moment, and then you can cheat on your husband or anything and just justify it by saying that it did feel good in the moment, and then you destroy people around you and yourself also. And that's why
people teaching even that if you have a desire, I don't just mean a sexual desire, I just mean like you have a desire for something. Well, that's the universe telling you, like that's your inner guidance telling you that this thing is for you. And I used to listen to channeled stuff and, Abraham Hicks, and they're always talking about that. Like, if you have a desire for something, that means it's meant for you. So it's okay. Like you can have whatever that is. And there's like,
it's so unintelligent.
Yeah.
That's something that I never thought about. It's so ironic also, how in the New Age, in the coaching business, people talk a lot about emotional intelligence, but that how can you talk about intelligence without truth? Because you don't have anything
Right.
to base that.
Yeah. What is that based on? Yeah.
Yes. So it's a paradox. So it's non-existent then, the intelligence, and actually it's used to get what you want again, because the whole New Age thing is about yourself. So they use emotional intelligence just to make things go your way. It's not intelligent, it's manipulation, and it's like how to manipulate people and make them think that they actually want to do the things you tell them to do. So
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And now that we understand the spiritual battle going on, and in my catechism class the last 4 weeks, we've been talking about the logismy and these thought forms and images, thoughts and images that come to us. And now that you and I know about orthodoxy and we know about this battle, we don't need to trust that these thoughts and images are actually ours. They could be and might be coming from the enemy to try to get us to do something that our passion, something that we have an issue with, gluttony or pride or whatever it is. And then we get these thoughts from elsewhere to kind of like propel us into, oh, it's okay. Oh, yeah, you can have like another 3 beers tonight. You worked so hard all week.
You
Like,
deserve it. Yeah.
yeah. And my spiritual father says, once you hear you instead of I as the thought, like, you can do it. It's okay. You deserve it. That's how you know that this is taking you to not a good place.
Yeah.
So we have this, or, we're practicing this discernment. Of course, Orthodoxy is still so new for both of us. There's going to be a lot of time for us to practice. We can't expect to just be able to catch these thoughts immediately, but this is our life practice now. This is a daily, like, we don't just go to church on Sunday. We are practicing being Christians, little Christs, and having the support of the church. And thank you for always being there for me.
Oh,
And
thank
I
you.
just feel like we are really supporting each other because it's a struggle. Christianity is not easy. New Age
Exactly.
was really easy. This is not easy. We have to take so much responsibility for ourselves. And my spiritual father says you can be traumatized. There can be things that happen to you that weren't your fault, but it is your responsibility to now not let them destroy your life and just become a victim to these traumas that have happened, and learn to use them as tools to become closer to God and make ourselves better people, better for our families and friends and society. And so it's not easy, but glory to God that we have our community to support us.
Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe without New Age, I would have had, I don't know, maybe I could have had the thought that it's just me with my Bible, like Christianity. But now, having that I went through the New Age path, I know that it's not meant to be like that. The community and like much more wiser people are the key. Like, I can rely on myself. That's the rule number one. I know now that I can't trust myself. I don't know anything. That's why I need people around me who then I can rely on. I can ask, and they can ask me questions to make me see another perspective on things. Like, that's the first thing in my spiritual life, the fact that it's not me alone with my faith. It's, of course, we all carry our crosses alone. It's between us and God. But the fact that we are the church, the body of Christ, we are it also. So yeah, everything you said, it's
And I'm really happy that you have a godmother now, because that relationship is really important too. And so tell
glory
her
to God. I'm so glad. Yeah, she's now mine and also my daughter. So
yay, that's so
it
cute.
was.
So one other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is you posted a really interesting story, I think, or it might have been in your grid, I can't remember, but it was about how we can still be conscious about wellness and various things that seem like granola or new agey, but also be Christians. What inspired that post, and can you describe it better, because I just did a terrible job?
Yeah, I had to post about the fact how if I want to be conscious with my life, I want to maybe holistically think about my well-being. I want to think about birth in a natural way. I want to maybe give birth at home. I want to protect my freedom and our medical freedom. It doesn't mean that I have to partake in the New Age beliefs, because I don't know how it's in the US, but in Finland and what I've seen in Europe, it seems to go like hand in hand with the fact that if you want to live a natural life, if you want to not partake in the secular life and just go out party and drinking and eat chemicals all the time and put them on your skin, that means that then, like, if you go back to the roots, you like live next to nature and stuff like that, but then you have to take on all these pagan beliefs. Like, it seems to be like a 2-in-1 package here. It's so sad to see that maybe like women in Finland talking about birth, for example, like free birthing and all those things, it's automatically then associated with goddesses. And now that you want to give birth at home, you're a goddess. Like, embrace your identity as a goddess. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, maybe because in Finland we don't have, even though we're a Protestant country, like we're Lutherans mostly. We were, or like I was. The base of faith is in, like, we're not Christian. We're Christian on paper, not anything else. Like, people like rarely live the Christian lifestyle. So because we don't have anything spiritual in our lives, because there is no Christ, then it's so easy to take on those like spiritual beliefs about nature being the universe, for example. It seems like it's just gets mixed with things. Like, I can live in the woods and I can make my own food and I can like be conscious with my life, and I don't have to at the same time be a pagan.
So my connection to nature now as a Christian is so much more beautiful and intense than it was when I was a pagan. It just, in a way that doesn't make sense, but it does make sense to me, because I'm worshiping the creator who created all of this, not
Exactly.
the actual creation.
How is Christianity an unnatural religion? Because we worship the one who created it all. Like, we don't cherry pick what we want. It's the whole thing. So that's why I posted on my stories, because I wanted to make my point clear to people that I searched from Pinterest, like monks, Orthodox monks who are very close to nature. They sit with bears and they sit with animals. Animals come to them because they know that those people are close to God. They walk with Christ. And then I found this meme. I had to share it too. I didn't mean to be mean, but it was like a meme that there was 2 Christian guys with their Bibles and with their shirts and ties, and they were like, "Hello, sir, do you have time to talk about Jesus Christ?" And then there was this monk sitting with a bear, like, "Sure, what do you want to know about?"
Yeah, it's so good.
It was so funny because it explains it all. Like, he's living the spiritual life, the true spiritual life, not just walking around with his Bible. I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with that, but like you said, it's different to be close to nature now that we know who created the nature.
And just how perfect and beautiful. And
for us, it's amazing.
Yeah, right. And then the other reason I really like that post, you also included taking self-responsibility or doing like emotional regulation work or something like that. And I love that, because I am a life coach, and it doesn't mean I'm going to be teaching women how to worship themselves like the secular life coaching industry does. I've taken the good, because there were so many good things that I learned and that I practiced when I wasn't a Christian, but I was in that life coach culture. There are so many things that have to do with taking self-responsibility and having courage. And the only difference now is that the women I'm working with lean on God and walk with God and are wanting to live their life for God's will, not our own will. So we can still participate in some of these things that I learned and that I'm still teaching to my clients now, having to do with just confidence and courage. And it doesn't mean that it's going to make the person prideful or any of those other things. So thank you for including that in your post.
Yeah, because it's at least in here, it's a huge part of it, like being conscious with the way you parent your children and being gentle with them and being self-conscious and self-reflective. Self-reflective, maybe. Right. Yeah. It doesn't, like, it's the basic stuff. It's about being a human. It's not about worshiping false gods. It's about learning to be a human and learning to deal with your trauma and your life in general and learn to love yourself and people around you. So it's not the same thing to do Reiki and to go to therapy. And people are putting this on the same level, and it's just not right.
Yeah. So. And even therapy has its place for some things, but without having God at the center of that work, it doesn't work for everything. I mean, like I said, it has its place, but a lot of my clients that I've spoken with tried therapy and it really didn't do anything for them. Plus the therapist wasn't giving them homework to do in between the appointments that could really give them something to like reflect on during the week so that they could actually see progress. It was just talk therapy where they're just going over their victimhood over and over again.
Yeah, venting. Yeah, that's not going to take us anywhere. But that's so true. Like, this is also a topic that I've been talking about with my friends now who are also ex-New Agers, that how therapists, what is their attitude towards Christianity? Because, like I said, it's not a huge thing here. Like, we're a godless society in general. So I don't know. It will be interesting to see in the future how maybe things will change.
So can you share a little bit about how you bring Orthodoxy into your child's life? What I know she's really little, she's very young, but her little mind is I know she's asking you questions, and she's actually a very deep little soul, a little being. I hope I get to meet her someday. I just already love her so much. But how do you talk about God with her, and anything you feel comfortable sharing? I would like to let them know.
Well, I just try to include her into my spiritual life as much as possible. So praying before bed and before meals, and just in general, when we make observations like how fun something was or how beautiful something is, I always try to, I don't have to try to remember, because now usually it just comes as a habit, that glory to God. And that's how I've noticed that she's been picking that up, that habit. And it's just great to see that for example, one evening she was just looking at her feet, and then she was like, "Oh, I've got so cute, these little toes. Thank you, God."
Thank you, God. Yeah. Oh my gosh. See that gratitude starting at such a young age.
Yeah.
The gratitude is going to take her a long way.
Yeah, that's amazing to witness. And the fact that she talks a lot, to be so, like, I don't know where she gets all the vocabulary she's learning all the time, that I can see that when she eats something, and like she mentions God often. So it's nice to, like, she's making the connection with where did it come from, and who do we have to be grateful for, like you said. So the gratitude is a huge part. And then there's Orthodox family camp that we've been now attending.
Oh, yeah.
So
Talk about that.
yeah, that was an amazing experience, and it was her first time being surrounded by other Orthodox children and families in general, and the fact how like she really was observing people and how they act. It was just fun to see, and she was really impressed because we got to witness a baptism at that camp. So she was really like, this was cool.
So cute.
Yeah.
Anybody who would like to send a donation for this live stream, I don't have the link, whatever that's called, that everybody else seems to have. I don't know how that works. Stream. I am a tech boomer, guys. Sorry, but I do have PayPal and I do have Venmo. And anybody who would like to send a donation, I would like to buy Mia's daughter some Orthodox books and ship them. And the problem with this is that the shipping from the US to Finland is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe when I tried sending you something for Christmas. It was like $65 for a little.
Oh my goodness. That's too
like a
much.
couple books and a couple dresses for her. And so anyway, if anybody would like to support the stream today, any donations I receive for this stream, I'm going to be sending Mia some books, because Mia is fluent in 5 languages, right?
Well,
Something like
not
that.
exactly fluent. But...
And your English is incredible. And there's been so many books that I've been wanting to send you, because I know the selection that you have is smaller than the selection I have. And so we have a question here. Kyle wants to know if we're twin sisters. Well, that is a huge compliment for me, because I am much older than Mia, for one thing.
But I told you that you haven't aged since 1990.
Thank you. I have, but it's the fuzzy. There's probably like a fuzzy filter on here or something. No. Anyway, thank you. And Kyle, thank you.
That's so sweet of you, the thoughts. Oh.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions for us. So Mia, what are a couple books you've been reading lately that you would recommend?
Well, now I've been reading about the veneration of Mother of God. That's my newest book. And then I just, that's the St. John
Maximovich. Yeah, I'm going to get that book too.
Yeah.
Really good.
And well, I got just nihilism. How do you say that in Finnish? Because before I just read it in, exactly that one. I was reading that in English, and I had it on my phone, and now I can delete the huge file, and I just can read the Finnish version.
Oh, great. So. Nice.
And then we say Paisios.
Paisios.
Yeah. I just love his books.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, that was something that I was thinking about, because the topic about parenting, because with gentle parenting and conscious parenting, without God, that can be that can destroy our children, because it's gentle parenting is about validating our children and seeing them and hearing them, and just treating them as people and just respecting them a lot. But the fact that if there is not God in the picture, it can just plant such a seed of pride into our children, that's something that I want to be conscious now about. Just to, with us mothers, we tend to tell our kids that they are just the loveliest and the best, and that I know that that's not the way. Because if I want her to be humble, something I have not been my whole life, I just have so much to unlearn and so much to get rid of my heart and my inside. I know that I've been so prideful, and I know that now if I do things right, maybe she doesn't have to walk the same road. So how to be gentle with my parenting, but not to plant that pride into her. So if any mothers out there want to share their thoughts about this topic, I would appreciate it a lot. I love reading the saints' writings about parenting, and now I've been listening to Orthodox talks on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
You shared, or someone on the Telegram group shared.
Yeah. Father Cosmos.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah, there are so many great streams about parenting, and just to be gentle and be conscious with her, like seeing her, validating her, but not to make her think that she's now justified to rule the world.
Right. Yeah, because entitlement is a problem with
Yep.
the last couple generations, and
Yeah.
so it's wonderful. I mean, you're always telling her like what a great artist she is, how smart, how talented, like that's fine to like build up their confidence in their skills, but to just not let them know when they do something that's not appropriate or unkind. I mean, again, I'm not a parent. I'm not trying to tell anybody how to parent, but as a daughter, as someone who was a child, it's important not to break their spirit and like even my spiritual father was talking about this in catechism last night. He's not going to yell and scream at a child, one of his 7 kids, the first time he does something wrong, like punches his brother or takes something away from his brother. He's not going to like scream and say, "You're a terrible child. How could you do that? You're awful. You're awful." He's going to say it in a way that's understanding that this is a lesson, right? There's always opportunities to learn something. And the difference is if they keep doing the same bad behavior over and over, then you have to kind of like reevaluate how you're going to approach that, I guess. But parenting is tough. My husband raised 3 boys, and I've heard a lot of stories of how challenging it can be. But my godmother says that being a parent is part of your salvation. They help you with your salvation. So what a blessing. So beautiful.
Yeah, that's something I've been now trying to every time I notice myself getting triggered or notice myself getting tired and that my patience is running low, I'm just praying that Jesus praying in my mind and just trying to like calm down with the prayer. And it's really like 2 years ago I would have said that would be like a way of meditating. Now I know that that's your true like getting grounded in Christ and just letting go. Oh, I can see a comment now. Unlearning our old ways is hard. It's been almost 2 years since my baptism and still very much curriculum and so much to learn. Oh, so much to learn.
You know, Tatiana, that is actually, somebody told me something very similar to that, and it actually helped me be more comfortable with the fact that my baptism is approaching, because for a long time, I was afraid to get baptized because I felt like, oh, I'm not ready. But so many people like you have been sharing that just because you're baptized, it doesn't mean you're now like this perfect Christian, you know everything, you know all the theology, and no, it's just now you're in a different state of different stage of your walk with Christ than you were when you were a catechumen, but there's still that feeling of like still learning and growing. And I think that's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Tatiana.
Yes.
What Eliana says that is very true.
Yeah, what I've been hearing a lot from my Orthodox friends here is that it's the beginning. So,
yeah, right. Yeah. So. And the most important, or one of the most important pieces of the baptism is the life confession. Does your priest, are you going to be doing that? Because I know not every priest does the life confession for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's really important.
Wow. Yeah, it's the most important part of it. I think like so. Yeah, it's also something I've been thinking about and been reading about, and the most like calming thing about the confession what I read was that you don't have to explain why the sinning has happened, because God knows. he already knows what led to all those things, that you just have to get them out and
not make justifications for
yeah.
why you did it.
Yeah.
And
Not the
then
background story behind, because he
right.
knows.
Yeah. Yeah. And then confessing to the priest is because the priest is like what do you call, I don't want to say this wrong, but he has the lineage, the apostolic succession and lineage to Christ. So it's like you're telling Christ through another person what you did that you don't ever want to do again, and that you want to say you're sorry to God for. And then it's like this healing experience. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah, me neither. And I don't know. I haven't read about it, but I can't believe there has been a time in in history that people thought that we don't have to do this anymore. That's such a crucial part of our faith and of our path and journey. Yeah.
I just didn't understand how the church is a hospital. I mean, before I was a Christian, I had no concept of the church as a hospital, and that this is our healing. The sacraments are our healing, not the ayahuasca circles, the Reiki treatments, laying the crystals on us. That's like, that's not the way we heal our souls.
Something I've been thinking about lately is how the New Age was the kindergarten of spirituality. It's such a playground. It's nothing compared to like true spiritual life with Christ, and with the fact that there is only one way, and it's a road, and you have to keep moving. And how, I don't know, just maybe it's because I was listening to your latest interviews with Alex and everyone. They were so great. His story from Protestantism to Orthodoxy, but also I was listening to Jamie's new podcast, and how they were talking about the spiritual realm. And I just realized that there was a time I thought I knew something about spirituality in New Age, and now I know that then I knew nothing, but now I know that I know even less now. Like I know nothing about it. We're so tiny as humans, and then we're so loved yet because we are humans, and so much to comprehend and so much to understand. So just, it's very humbling. Very humbling.
It is.
The closer the baptism, like it's coming, then it's makes me feel very tiny.
Same. I wanted to mention, I brought a couple books to mention today, and I have mentioned this before, but I'm mentioning it again. The Morning Offering by Abbot Trifon. This is a really easy book because you just read one page a day, and it's from Abbot Trifon's blog. And anybody watching who doesn't know Abbot Trifon, please go follow him on YouTube and support him. He is one of my favorite priests, and I learned so much from him. And so this is a really great book to give to someone too as a gift. So highly recommend. And then I've been doing readings on Instagram, chapter readings of this book, The Way of the Ascetics. And it's small, but like it's simple, but in a way that's what I love, because it just distills the wisdom down to like a 2-page chapter. So I've been reading these on Instagram. If anybody wants to follow me, I'm at A Devotional Heart. And then Mia, do you know about this one? I'm sure I've told you about it. Ultimate Things, an Orthodox Christian Perspective on the End Times by Dennis.
You have told me about that. Yeah, I haven't found that from here. Maybe you could do a reading. You could read the whole book and then just upload it on YouTube.
No way, that would take forever. But I do recommend it, and Father Peter here also recommends it, and he is doing or finished. I'm not sure if he's finished. No, I think he's still doing it. His course on Revelation. And so this is one of the books he recommended, but my godmother bought me this, and it's really interesting and good to know, good information to have. So, what else? So, what are some health and wellness topics you've been talking about on Instagram?
Health and wellness. Well,
Like your oyster, you mentioned some kind of like oyster supplement.
yeah. I'm still healing my body from the 7 years of being a vegan and destroying my
Oh yeah,
hormonal.
talk about this. This is really good. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you were a vegan for 7 years, and
Yes.
while you were pregnant even?
Even, yeah. And 2 years after I
Mhm.
gave birth, almost 2 years. So my body was completely depleted on well everything, and I've been learning the basics about how women's hormonal functioning is that's the truth about health. Like if we want to be emotionally intelligent and we have to align our feelings with truth, we have to align our health with our hormones.
Right. Yeah.
Those two go hand in hand, and I realized that my hormones just have been a mess. So I'm slowly healing and getting zinc from the oysters because I
Mm.
can't find any fresh. Well, I could find some fresh oysters some days of the week, but they are very expensive, and it's a lot of hassle. So at this point of my life, I prefer the capsules. So I'm ordering them from Ireland. so,
Okay. So it's
so
high quality zinc.
that's the bio available zinc, and zinc should never be taken as a supplement because that depletes then copper and magnesium and other important minerals.
Wow.
So it's bioavailability is the key. So the supplements that I'm taking now at the moment are vitamin E because I was vegan for 7 years, so I'm filled with PUFA, polyunsaturated fatty acids.
Mhm.
So I'm just protecting myself and building the like response system again. That now, if in the future I eat some PUFAs, it doesn't like the inflammation won't just
Mm.
go through the roof.
Wow.
So
I
that's
bet
the
there are a
thing.
lot of people with this issue of the inflammation. They don't even realize
Yeah,
why.
seed oils are the worst thing we can
Mm.
do to our health, and
Mhm.
that's basically what I was filled with when I was eating the vegan way. It's terrible to our health. So
And then what about fats? What can you say about like the good fats that the
that's,
brain
yeah,
needs to
butter,
function?
grass-fed, organic butter, every day, all day,
Yeah.
with everything.
And
Yeah,
what about coconut oil?
yeah, coconut oil too. Yeah, that's because it's not a it's yeah, it's okay. And
And
also extra virgin olive oil. But what I've heard that in the US, at least they do mix it with like rapeseed oil or something like that and
yeah.
promote it as olive oil. That's
Mhm.
terrible. We are not as corrupted here. So when I buy olive oil, I know that it's in fact olive oil.
Okay, good.
But still, it's important that it's high quality and
Mhm.
well, mostly it's not. So
And
we
avocados. Do you have avocados in Finland?
Yeah, we get those, but I haven't been eating those because since I I was just laughing with my friends who also she was vegan too. For she did quit before me though. I wanted to like kill myself slowly more than she did. Uh, she I was talking with her how I haven't been eating almost any greens, like very little greens. And avocado, for some reason, I associate it now still with the vegan phase, and I just
Mm.
don't crave it in a way I used to. So
And
uh,
what about, raw milk? Do you get raw milk?
yeah, we still do have some farms who that sell that, but it's I don't know how the farming industry is going in the US, but in Finland, it's heartbreaking how farms they are closing up because they can't afford to produce
Mhm.
food anymore. Some farms are even paying to get their products in stores. So they're basically paying to feed us, which is so
Oh
tragic.
my
Yeah,
gosh, that's
it's
terrible.
terrible. It's terrible. Yeah. So the big companies, of course, are doing what they are have been doing for years. So the small farms are dying, but some still do have, and they sell raw milk too.
Oh
So
my gosh. Yeah, where I live, it used to be all orchards for 100-something years. There were peaches, cherries, apples. This was before I was born, but it was just this very rich and lush area of the country. And now, I mean, acre by acre, all got sold to developers, and it's just really sad. But have you ever tried growing your own food?
well, I'm starting with herbs now this year, and there are some in Finland. There are these like how do you say, gardens that you can just pay to grow food on. This like, or they rent them to you, but they are this.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to own the property,
Yeah, we have
but
that here.
you can
Yeah.
just grow your food there. So it's great. And I know that there's this garden you can eat. It's mostly for children, but in the summertime there's this area that they grow food, and then the people can go and take care of the garden and stuff like that. So now, while we still live in an apartment, I don't have a garden of my own, but in the future that's my goal, to be very self like, I don't know how to say,
self-reliant. And to
yeah,
teach
with
your
this.
daughter how to grow things. I mean, I loved growing things when I was a kid. It's so much
Yeah,
fun to watch things
exactly.
grow and like nurture things into life.
Yes, and see the process. That's
Mhm.
the beautiful part about it. But in Finland, we're lucky that we have so much nature. We have beautiful woods, and we can just go outdoors and just pick up some wild herbs. And like, I have some dried nettle, for example, and I make tea out of it. And
Oh, yeah.
each year we can collect these things. And I think that it's the beginning, like small steps towards being a more not reliant on supermarkets.
Yeah.
So
I
I think we're
know.
all heading to that direction all over the world. So
Oh, Green Feathers. Hi. Green Feathers says, just repotted my garden today. Wow.
yeah, I wish
Awesome.
I
Nice
had
to
a
see you,
garden.
Green Feathers. Thank you for being here. The Green Feathers is probably my biggest, well, not probably, he's my biggest supporter financially of this channel. So thank you, Green Feathers. I
Amazing.
always appreciate you, and everybody else who donates, and even just leaving comments, sharing my videos. You guys are awesome. I really, really appreciate everybody who supports in one way or another. And oh, Mia, did you know I just hit 2,000 subscribers this
I
week?
did. Yeah, actually, I wanted to congratulate you. I
Oh,
noticed 2 point. There was like, it was over already.
yeah,
That's so
because
amazing.
I think Made by Jim Bob. I think because he promoted on Instagram, he promoted our stream that we did on
Yay.
Tuesday, and I think I got a lot of new people. And then I got a lot of new people from you because you shared something, or maybe just about this stream or something. You shared
Mhm.
on Instagram,
Yeah, I
and I
shared your
noticed,
channel this week. Yeah.
oh yeah, because I have some new followers on Instagram who are Finnish. So thank
Oh.
you.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I'm so glad people are getting past the things that they used to believe, and maybe opening up to some things that are new. Because once the door opens to orthodoxy, you can't close it, because you there's so much to learn, and you realize that the whole church history is there for you to learn. And the tradition, how can we dismiss the tradition that's been carried on and it hasn't changed? That's,
Yeah.
I can't find a reason that we should just close our eyes.
Right. Why would we want to do that?
Yes, exactly.
And the really amazing thing with the internet is that, you know, that I learned about Orthodoxy from Jay Dyer and Church of the Eternal Logos, and who knows? I mean, there was, my church was across the street from a store that I used to run, that I owned about 10 years ago. Literally across the street was the church I go to now, and I never had any curiosity to go in there. I knew it was there, but and then I go from New Age to Christianity. I'm reading my Bible for about a year, not being interested in going to any churches. And then I hear about Orthodoxy from Jay Dyer and Church of the Eternal Logos. And then I'm like running to the church. And I wanted to be a catechumen like the very first day that I walked into that church. I was like, this is for me. And it's been an entire year of just meeting new people in the church and deepening in my faith. And then, like we always say, it's not the intellectual, yes, we talk about the books and what we're learning intellectually, but that's not what it is. It's like how to take that and then make that part of our lifestyle and have it transform our hearts and our families and everything about our lives. And it's just so amazing.
That's actually something you ask, how do I show Christianity to my daughter and how do I introduce that to her? I think after living 10 years as a pagan in the New Age, it is so simple for me and so obvious for me now to read and learn about Christianity and God and the truth through people who have lived it. So our saints, it's so obvious for me that there's nothing wrong about, like, I hear a lot of these Protestants tell that there's something wrong about like praying to the saints. I see it completely the opposite way, because in the New Age, we used to follow these gurus who have reached some kind of enlightenment, even though have they?
Right.
So now it's just obvious that I know what the truth is. So I know that there must be people who have actually lived the right way. So now when I read about their lives, I can just absorb it and just get the first-hand information. What is it like to live for Christ? So it's something that I'm also teaching to my daughter, and through icons and through stories, that this is the way. These people have done it, so we can do it too. Like, not saying that we will become saints, but that we can live for Christ, and we can. It's an everyday thing, not just every Sunday, but every day.
Oh, I would love for you to share about the nun you met and the stories. I mean, you don't have to tell like all the stories she told, but what was that like, getting to hear, like you said, like you're speaking face to face with someone who's so deep in the faith and has had this rich life of worship and prayer. And
so I met her at this monastery. Well, it's not yet an official monastery, but it will be in Finland. And I was just laughing to myself, like, a year ago, I would never have thought that I will be sitting in the sauna in the heat with a nun who is talking about her experience with Christ. And it's very humbling to meet someone who she's a nun, even though she lives in the world. Like, half the time she is in her monastery, do you say like that? Or and half the time she lives in the world, because her job is to talk with people, and she's always with her phone, not the same way we are just scrolling, but she's texting with people from all around the world and answering their questions and praying for them and getting prayer requests from all around the world. So she was just so joyful, someone who is so full of joy and so full of self. Like what she said all the time is that I am nothing. Our God is so amazing. I am nothing. He loves me, but I am nothing. It was this balance of, like, I was a bit confused even, like, she is so humble and she loves our Christ so much, and she thinks nothing about herself, even though she's so wise and shows, like, I don't know, shows so much wisdom and kindness and all these beautiful qualities. So
my godmother is like that. She's very humble, and she's always saying that, like, I'm nothing without Christ. And she really means it. I mean, I think she's amazing, but she's she's just like, it's all for Christ, all for Christ.
Yeah, that's why the basic stuff. So, but the stories, of course, were amazing, and the people she's met and the places she's been to. It's after hearing those stories and seeing someone who has left her life and now lives to Christ, there's no doubt that that it's truth. So.
The Green Feather says it's because she was full of the love of Christ, which is the love and embrace of humility and suffering, right? Yeah.
Yes. And actually through her, I've seen the beauty of suffering, and it's something I've been also now consciously been reading about and learning about. How suffering doesn't like exclude love somehow. Because in the New Age, those were just like we were running from suffering, we were running from reality, and now we're in like the fact that we should embrace suffering and find the beauty of it. So it's through
and no, we're not alone. We're not suffering alone.
Yeah,
we have Christ.
Exactly.
Mia, we have a question. This person wants to know if you've been to Uspensky Cathedral. I guess it's in Helsinki.
Yeah, no, I haven't been to Helsinki yet. No, I don't live there.
So does anyone have any other questions? We're at an hour already. Wow, that went very quickly. Okay. I always have so much fun talking with you. Sometimes Mia and I will be on the phone for like 2 hours and we're just laughing the entire time, and the time goes so fast. And then I realize it's like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, her time. And because our time zone difference is so bad, but we just have so much fun. I love you, Mia, so much.
I love you too. And like I said, that through you, I've learned why my daughter is so joyful when she's talking with me. She doesn't seem to get tired when she's talking with me. It's the fact she loves me so much that now I know that it's like when you love the people you're talking with, you don't feel tired. You just keep going.
I know. Again, mentioning my godmother, but it's the same thing with her. I saw her at church on Sunday, and then we talked on the phone for 2 hours. And then I talked to her yesterday for an hour. It's just like we never run out of things to talk about. Because like you said, in Orthodoxy, there's always something else incredible to talk about.
Yeah, something you have discovered, something you realize, something just is there.
Also, I wanted to mention something random to my viewers. If anybody out there is knowledgeable about YouTube and uploading videos, I don't know why these videos upload as standard definition. And then if I do my own video on Zoom or something, I can upload it and it'll be HD. But I've tried to do a little bit of research. If anybody can help me, I would be so happy. And eventually I'm going to be a little more fancy with like intro music and Streamlabs link and all that kind of stuff, but it's not my forte. So anybody who wants to help me, please find me in the description. There's a bit.ly link and there's all the links that you can find me at. Okay, so the Green Feather says YouTube only live streams in SD. Okay, I thought I was doing something wrong.
But that's good to know for the future.
Yeah, because I bought this, I invested in a new computer so that I could have better quality videos for everybody. And then I get so frustrated because when I upload them and I go back and look, it's in standard definition. It's like no different than my old computer. So
God knows that you tried.
He says if you record and then post it as a live. Oh, but then you lose all of the comments if you post it as a live, I think. And I also only have like the low budget StreamYard. I don't have the paid version, so I don't think I can like save my videos. But again, I don't know any of this stuff. Okay, well, Mia, I think since we've been talking for about an hour, I don't know, were there any other topics you wanted?
No, I just want to hear about your coaching. Do you do any like relationship coaching? Because we always talk about like we don't talk about work things.
I know when we talk, we don't really talk about like my coaching business. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll take this opportunity to I want to let everybody know I'm working on a free and paid version programs. So the free one will be like 10 ways to connect more with your husband. And it's even for single women because you can always learn now what you might want to
Yay.
use later. And so it'll be, I don't know when I'm launching all of this. I've been working on it. So the free one will be here on YouTube, and it's just going to be some really easy practices and tips. Maybe not all of them will apply to every person out there, but I'm hoping, because my passion, my goal, and my love in life is to bring couples closer, because after years together, as everybody knows, eventually sometimes it turns into more like they're tolerating each other. They don't have that beauty and that connection that they had in the beginning, that fire, the intimacy and the vulnerability. And because you get into your daily lives, and especially if you have kids, you're focusing more on the kids. So I want to create content that's going to really bring couples back to where they were when they met. And it has to do with communication, obviously, boundaries, healthy boundaries, and maintaining these boundaries, and respect for one another's boundaries and needs. And then, of course, polarity. So for women to find ways to feel more feminine, just get more into that femininity where they're not mothering their husband, they're not nagging, they're not trying to control, manipulate, direct everything, because that's where a lot of the conflict comes in, is where the man is in his natural state of wanting to lead and the woman is competing for that power. Because as we know, with feminism and the last 40 years of our society telling women that we need to be just as strong as men and we can't let them tell us what to do. And, this has really seeped into my own relationship, my marriage. So I've had to unlearn a lot of the conditioning. So I'm going to be talking about that. So there's just so many things that I want to share. And what I realized when I started filming these videos for the paid course, I'm getting too out there. Like I'm trying to talk about too many things.
Mhm.
Whereas in the course, I want to keep it simple and accessible and easy to use these skills and the things I'm teaching. And then what I'd like to do is have a portion of the people who buy this course do one-on-one coaching with me, because that way I can really help the person get into the specific issues in the relationship, or even if it's a single woman, the specific reasons why she's guarding her heart and is not connecting with men because she's afraid, or she thinks she doesn't trust men, but it's really that she doesn't trust herself. So working on those kinds of things. So those are like the specific things where you're going to really see the progress, is when you get support either with me or another relationship coach, because it takes it from like the generalization of polarity, boundaries, relationship, or communication, to the actual specifics of the patterns, why you relate to men a certain way. When did that start? What is that really doing? Is it a protection mechanism? Is it really benefiting you in your life? And then unraveling that and working toward creating new patterns. And so that's my love and my passion in life. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. And hopefully one day I'll write a book, because I just have so many ideas that just pop into my head. I think, oh, this could really help people
Yeah.
just be closer and have that depth and that connection and that real true love, because that's what the world needs more of, is love.
Sounds amazing. Because I was just thinking about the book, the men are from Mars, women are from Venus,
Mm-hmm.
like like that kind of thing, but with orthodoxy.
Oh
And
yeah, right?
so that would
Yeah.
be, yeah, please do write it and then get me married. That would be amazing.
Yes, that will happen. That will definitely happen. All right. Well, everybody who showed up to this live, thank you so much for being here. And Mia, of course, thank you for being
Thank you
here.
for having me. It was so much fun.
And to everybody watching, if you have some topics you want us to talk about next time that I bring Mia back, please leave them in the comments. Please let us know what you enjoyed most about this stream today. And if there are any guests that you want me to bring on to a live stream or to my other show, the Devotional Hearts Show, please, you can always leave suggestions for me. And again, all the people that leave comments, I'm so sorry that I have not gotten back to everybody. Please know that I love you and I appreciate you. And thank you for sharing and liking my videos. You can find Mia on Instagram at Mia Nenonen. And
Yeah,
that
I'm
link
on
is
pause this week
on
because
pause.
it's been a hustle. So I'm just taking a pause from my inbox. But yeah, I'm there.
And I have that link in the description of this video, along with my bit.ly link, which takes you to all the places you can find me. And thank you, moderators, once again, for always keeping everything positive in the chat. And until next time, God bless you, and God bless you, Mia, and your daughter.
Oh, God bless you.
Bye.
Bye.